And in our worksheet, we're going to combine function notation and independent and dependent variables. So it's all still combined together. Now, our learning target for today says I can identify the independent and dependent variables. What does the word independent mean?
You're with somebody.
Do it yourself.
Do it. Okay, not single, guys. Not in a relationship. Like the word independent. Not everything in our life depends on being in a relationship.
Believe it or not.
You're working by yourself, you don't need anything.
Working by yourself, you don't need any help. So Natalie said that, Reggie said it, both of you take a point. What else can independent mean? Tell me in Espanol. Say it again. Well, tell me what that means, Jorge. Don't just repeat the word to me.
No, digo que she just...
Y'all are just saying independence. But I need you to tell me what it means, not just say the word to me.
When you do something by yourself.
En español, por favor.
Cuando haces algo tú solo.
Okay, take a point.
Yeah, I
Yes.
said it too in Spanish.
When it's alone, okay.
Can I take a point?
Take a point. So, what does a dependent thing do, Reggie?
You have to have a lot of work. You have to, like, people have to be right. Like, I don't know.
Like a needy person? Like you constantly need me to come over there and check your work?
Yeah.
Not just you, but some other people at your table?
Why do you think that?
But y'all take a point. That's good. Natalie?
When you need other parts of the problem to help it.
You need other parts of the problem to help it. Good. Take a point. What else can dependent mean?
Buddy. In the buddy.
Is something that's dependent, is it controlled by something else? Yes. And what does the controlling? Does the independent variable do the controlling or the dependent? Independent. All right, fantastic. All right, so when we're talking about independent variables in math, do you think that's the x or the y? The x. It is the x. So our x value is our dependent variable. Alright, so x is always the independent variable. So what is the dependent?
Why?
The y. Now, do you guys remember the other day, yesterday, in the past 5 days where we've done function machine? Have we plugged in x values or have we plugged in y values? X. So input is independent. So what's dependent? Output. Fantastic. No, we don't get points for everything. And remember, you cannot go over today.
What you mean by that?
You can only get 5 points today.
I thought you said something Monday and Tuesday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can go over. Tuesday, Thursday, you can't. Alright, so in the first box, I want you to write independent variables. And then over here, I want you to write dependent variables. All right, what does the independent variable do to the dependent variable? I don't really know what we're saying anymore.
Our life is not coming together.
Jorge's dancing. I don't know what's happening over there. Stop that. All right, so independent variable causes change in the dependent variable. So every time you plug in an x value, you get a different y value, right?
Yes.
And that's what we did with our function. So functions are independent. Function machines are the independent variable, and you get out the dependent variable. Is everybody with me?
No.
So Which one is independent and which one is dependent? Your grade, if you do your homework, you get a good grade. Which one's independent? No, guys. You can't, no, listen to what I'm saying to you. You can't just say the words independent and dependent. So I want you to tell me, we have two things. If you do your homework, your grade will improve. Which one is the independent variable? If you do your homework. And what does that depend on? Or what does that control? That controls your grade, okay? If you watch a lot of TV, your brain will rot.
That's watching a lot of TV.
Which one's independent? And which is brain rot? If you read more, you will become smarter. Yes, it is true that if you read more, you will become smarter. I need like a bang head here, son. I'm not even playing. Y'all are frightening.
Mark has told me to say that, so if you're gonna hit me, hit him.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to combine labeling our independent and dependent variables with function notation. Are you guys ready? You're going to need two colors. Okay, let's not snatch. Okay, so this is combining. First of all, you have a trash can right there. Second of all, do not throw things in my classroom. Third of all, you asked to get up. I didn't even know that I've told you every day since you've been in this classroom. Alright, are we ready? It says, for each pair of variables below, tell which is the independent variable, and write a sentence giving the relationship between the two, using either depends on or as a function of. Okay, so we're going to use one color for independent, one color for dependent. Now, our first situation is spring rainfall and wildflowers. So which of those is the independent variable? Why? What is that saying? This says spring rainfall. You don't get this? Is that what you just said? We've just started. Nobody gets it yet. Spring rainfall and wildflowers. Now, remember, the independent variable controls it. So what controls the wildflowers growing? Rain. When we have a drought, we don't have flowers, right? Okay, so what's the independent? Rainfall. Okay, so let's write independent, an I, over spring rainfall. So what does that make wildflowers? Now it says, write a sentence giving the relationship between the two, using either depends on or as a function of. So we're going to start by saying depends on. How could we use these two in a sentence with depends on? Say it again, Sierra, loudly.
Wildflowers depends on spring rainfall.
Take a point. So we say wildflowers, yes, depends on spring rainfall. Does everybody see how we did that? Now, in your group, all I want you to do, we're going to take 4 minutes, and you're going to determine the independent and dependent variables of the next 4 sentences, okay? Or 4 statements. We're not going to write a sentence yet. So in your group, you're going to decide which one is independent and which one's dependent. Then we're going to talk about it, okay? In your group, you have to talk to yourself. No. You can speak with them about math. Not talking to Chandler about random things. Alright, so number 2 says number of wild rabbits and available food supply. So Sarah wants to tell me which one her group picked for the independent. Independent. Huh? Independent? Okay, and then dependent. Okay. Now, did anybody choose something different? Okay, what did you choose? You.
I chose the pinnacle rabbit and the bluebird.
Okay. Could it go either way on this? Now, if we said that the independent variable is the available food supply and dependent is wild rabbits, why do you think that is?
Because
They can't survive without food, right? But what if we have, does the number of wild rabbits also control how much food we have?
yeah.
So really that could go either way. It depends on how you look at it, right? So can you write me a sentence for this?
The wild rabbits.
All right, so available food. And we're going to say, instead of depends on, we're going to use is a function of. But if you did not pick this as your dependent, this is your independent, create your own sentence. Say wild rabbits is a function of the available food. So if you did the opposite, you can create your own sentence. It really depends on how you look at it. Take a point, Sarah. Good job. All right, from a different table, who thinks they can do number 3? All right, Damien. Wait, let's make sure everybody's finished writing. I think we're still writing. Sorry, I got excited. Yeah, I think we're ready now. Almost. Yes, please.
Where?
Oh, we got
We all got D and I. Where? Okay. Can you tell me why you chose that?
because what do you mean like
Tell me, explain why you think that the number of predators is the dependent variable and the number of rabbits is the independent.
Because it talks about the number of predators, which is I feel like you determine. I get it, but I feel like that.
Okay, so this way you're telling me that the number of rabbits controls the number of predators.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, no other way around. Why?
No, I want you to tell me why you say that the number of rabbits controls the number of predators.
Oh, because the rabbits are independent.
I understand why. Bronson, can you help him out?
Because, well, I just thought, the way I thought it, like, the rabbits eat the predators.
The rabbits eat the predators?
The predators can't eat anything.
If there's no rabbits, the predators don't have a lot to eat, right? But could you also, yeah, take a point. Damien, you get a point. Like maybe a half of one. So could you also say that the number of predators controls the number of rabbits?
Yes.
Why?
Because the more predators, the more bunnies are going to be.
So if you have more predators, you're going to have less bunnies, right? Good. Take a point. So this one could also go either way. So can someone tell me a sentence based on how we wrote it here and use depends on?
Well, if you depend on rabbits
No, guys.
to control,
Just how we've been writing it. We're writing the same kind of sentence every time. Number of predators. Okay, there we go. Take a point. And they could go either way though, right? Alright, what about number 4? Are we ready for number 4? Number 4, you have to actually pay attention to what it says.
It doesn't look 15.
Well, you have to think of the tense it has the words in. Like past tense, present tense, future tense, you know?
Yes.
Okay, so Jorge. Alright, so it says amount of money spent and articles of clothing bought. So what controls what in that situation?
The company is lit. Oh, yes. Next one, Arthur. Wait.
It says amount of money spent, right?
Yeah.
And that's past tense. And articles of clothing bought. So what controls what?
The clothes, the money. The
The money controls the clothes, because if you don't have any clothes.
No, that's not what this says. This doesn't say the amount of money you have. This says the amount of money you spent. What controls that? Are you sure?
No, I'm not money, because you're trading the money.
The amount of money.
But what controls how much money you spend at the store?
How much money you have?
Jackson, tell me.
The articles of clothing, like control how much money is spent at the store.
Okay, so articles of clothing, is that independent or dependent?
It's
Independent, fantastic. And article money spent is dependent. Now, the reason is this does not say how much money you have. This says how much money we spent, right? So if we spent money, that's dependent on how many clothing we bought. Do you think that I don't know that you're texting and covering up with your arm? No, there's nothing to be calculating. So you're lying. There is nothing to be calculating. So put that away. Right. So that's 5 push-ups and points off. I know, wife is tough. Alright, who knows what stagnant water is? Kind of. What is stagnant water? Kind of. Stagnant water is standing water. It doesn't move. So the word stagnant means that it doesn't move. So stagnant water makes mosquito larvae, and that's where they come from. So what depends on what year?
The lava.
Depends on what?
Mosquitoes.
Did we run a sentence for,
No, we didn't. Okay, so dependent and independent, right? So I want you to write sentences for that tonight. Put a star by these. This is your homework.
So, does that one count?
No, we're not done. All right. No, it's not, honey. We got like 10 minutes. I got this. All right, ready for the next part?
Yes.
Why? All right. It says, for each of the following, write a sentence given the relationship between the two variables. Alright, so we are writing a sentence based on the relationship using either depends on or is a function of, and we're going to alternate. Now, alternate. What does the word alternate mean? Switch. Alright, so this says, what is this?
W
Nope, that's not W equals C.
W times C.
Nope.
calories.
W equals C.
No, guys, I just said it's not that.
Cal-
What kind of notation is this? Have we seen this before?
No.
Are you kidding me? Guys. Yes, we have. It's the same thing as this. Jackson, tell me what kind of notation this is. Take a point. The rest of you, get it together. This is function notation. Now, C stands for calories and W stands for weight. So let's think about this before we say anything. Does weight depend on calories, or does calories depend on weight?
Calories depend on weight. Weight depends on calories.
I said think before you speak. So, does how much you weigh depend on how many calories you eat, or do how many calories you eat depend on how much you weigh? Y'all, if I eat 4,000 calories a day, how much am I going to weigh? I'm going to weigh a ton, right? Right. So if I eat more calories, the more I weigh, right? So what depends on what? Oh my gosh. Guys, listen to what I'm saying. Bronson, listen to what I'm saying. If I eat 12,000 calories, I'm going to weigh 500 pounds. So how much you weigh depends on how many calories you eat. So how would we write a sentence? Weight depends on calories. Write that down. Now, which one is the independent variable? Thank you. Which is the dependent variable? Everybody write that down. That was painful. It should not take that much. All right, next one. Temperature and the time of day. So think about what happens to temperature. Does it go up or does it go down throughout the day? It goes up, and then what happens? Now, what happens to the time as we're doing this? It changes. It goes from early to late, right? So, does temperature depend on the time of the day, or does the time of the day depend on the temperature? So you're telling me that it can only be 12 o'clock if it's a certain temperature? No. So what depends on what? Okay. So which is the independent variable? Thank you. It's not time to go. So tonight, you need to finish this worksheet. Yep, all of it. Gracias. You need to write a sentence for 4 and 5. If you don't listen, you're not going to know how to do this. You need to write a sentence for 4 and 5. You need to label independent and dependent on 6 through 15 and write a sentence. You have to use depends on and is a function of.